Greetings, friend. I will show you how to solve this puzzle and how to proceed when Snyder notation fails you. You will love this trick by our Friday featured setter. Not only that, stay tuned later in the video. I'll give you another fun fact about Shye. Click below if you want to give it a go. With that, it's solving time. So I'm going to tell you this right now because you may not believe me. This puzzle does not require any advanced strategies. And let's work through it. And you're not going to believe me after you see where we go. Okay, look at these ones here. There's only two places for a 1 in block 4. That means that is a Snyder notation. So anytime a 3x3 block, you only have 2 possibilities for a candidate, you mark those. And this usually helps us figure out where we can solve, get some of the other strategies in there. And if you solve one of these cells, you can solve another one right away. Usually this is the way to kind of test the puzzle for some easy to solve cells. All right, 2 spots for 1 are in block 8. And look, and there's no other places where I can do marks for 1s. You look at the 2s, I got 2 spots for 2 here in block 3. And with these 2s, 2 spots for 2 here in block 7. And I don't see any other spots where I can do with the 2s. Go to the 3s. We got these 2 3s, 2 spots for 3 here in block 9. Look in the other spots for 3s and don't see any other places to put the 3s. Go to the 4s. See, there's 4s here. Got 2 spots for 4 here. And you notice, these 2 4s can be one of these 3 spots. We never mark 3 spots because it has to do with a lot of the strategies you require with Snyder notation. It's all about being quicker. And this creates a blind spot because now you're not thinking 4s are limited to these 3 spots. And I'll show you why in just a bit. Okay, anything else with the 4s? Nope. Can't do any more Snyder marks with the 4s. So with the 5s, we got 2 spots for 5 here. And you notice there's some restrictions up here in block 3. 2 spots for 5 in block 8. And cannot make anything else restriction-wise with the 5s. Go to the 6s. Got 3 6s here. 3 spots up here in block 2, can't do that. Got 3 spots up here in block 3, can't do that. 3 spots in 6. 2 spots here, and these are a little off-center. When you see the off-center ones, Simon Anthony says this is usually trouble, right? There's some trouble in the puzzle. It requires a different, unique type strategy. Look for this. No more else with the 6s there. So we go to 7s, and we got 2 spots for 7 right there. Go to the 8s. 2 spots for an 8 here in block 6. 2 spots for an 8 up here in block 2. And don't see any other spots for the 8. Okay? But what I notice is that an 8 can't be here and an 8 can't be here. So the 8s are limited to column 7 and 8 here, and they're limited to column 7 and 8 here in block 9. But since there's 4 cells, I'm not going to mark that with Snyder notation. Okay? This is something I'm going to come back to here in just a second. Look at the 9s. And we can't make any marks with the 9s for Snyder notation. So you get to this point and you see we haven't solved a cell. And usually when you get here and you haven't solved anything and Snyder notation hasn't done anything, you're like, oh, I must need advanced strategies and I must go right away to the single candidate strategies. However, I told you, you don't need any advanced strategies. So we have to look past our blind spots. All right, you notice how the 8s, look at these 2 8s. 8s can't be in these spots here. So the 8s are limited to these 3 cells here in block 3. All right? Since it's 3 cells, it's not a claiming pair, it'd be a claiming triple. And we usually don't mark claiming triple. Sometimes I've seen this in variant Sudoku solving if you want to make sure you know where it is. But the idea is that you need to know that 8 can't be in these 4 cells, right? Because it's going to be somewhere here in column 7 and 8 here in blocks 6 and 9. That's where Snyder fails you. You're never going to mark this and do a normal Snyder notation. That's not enough either. There's another neat thing we have to do. And you got to look at these 9s. So the 9 can't be here. It can't be here in row 1. So it means the 9s are limited to rows 2 and 3 here in blocks 1 and 2. So it means the 9s are limited to one of these 3 cells. And this is another claiming triple. We wouldn't normally mark that. Now, if there was only 2 9s, I would have caught it. I would have marked it, and we'd be in business. But this is where Snyder might fail you, and you might be, it's just a blind spot. You're like, oh, it can't be there. Now I need to look for something else. So I would use this to kind of like see, what's this puzzle giving me, and see where you can go with that. Looking for these to create these claiming pairs and claiming triples is a little bit harder to spot, but you got to do that. And before we move on to see how this helps us, I want to let you know that Shye is on the short list. When Simon Anthony and Mark Goodliff are looking for a classic Sudoku, she's one of the just handful of setters that they will consider. In fact, I did a great analysis video of one of those classic Sudokus. I'll put at the end. You do want to check that out and see some amazing strategies like this that Shye is doing. So where this helps us is we can focus now on this cell. All right, this cell can't be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or a 6. Well, now with our claiming triples, it can't be an 8, and it can't be a 9. We can solve this cell right here for a 7. Awesome. This cell is a 7. This is great, and I love the beautiful part of this. And now you're going to think, okay, the puzzle's easily solved. Actually, there's one more intermediate strategy you're going to need to catch. So you want to stay tuned and keep watching. But this is amazing. And it brings me to the point where I want to tell you about my awesome fun fact about Shye. So I asked Shye, what got you into setting Sudoku puzzles? And Shye said, like most of the modern puzzle community, it was one fateful day she saw her first Cracking the Cryptic video. Yep, I've heard this before. It was a killer Sudoku by Mitchell Lee. Had a clever setup, comical finale. And she never realized this type of artistry could exist in puzzles. And so I love hearing how people get excited about that. I got into Sudoku too, a lot more seriously after watching CTC. If you want to get some amazing puzzle packs that feature some awesome Sudoku strategies and some artistry like this month I even have Logan Walls out there. Click on the pinned comment below to join the Smarty Party. You get exclusive packs, solution videos by me in case you get stuck, and exclusive benefits such as discounts and Discord access so you can talk to setters like Shye. All right, let's see what this does for us. You got the 7 here, means this has to be a 7. We're going to move that 7 right there. It means only one place left for 7 here in block 6. And now we are making some progress here. Okay, after finding that 7, we are going to go back to Snyder Notation. There's only 2 places for 7 right here because of the 7 coming up and the 7 cutting across. So it means we can actually solve for a 7 right there, which displaces the Snyder mark and allows us to solve for an 8. So Snyder is not something you're just going to throw away. It still does help us. I just wanted to point out that blind spot that you could see in Sudoku solving if you're not paying attention. Okay, after doing the 8, we can do some more solving up here, right? We got this 6 and this 6. There's only one place left for 6 up here in block 2. And then we can kind of follow these 6s with this 6 to give us a 6 here and a 5 here. Awesome. And after doing the 6 and the 5 there, we can go over to block 7 now. We got these 2 6s and this 6. So this gives us a 6 here, which displaces that Snyder mark and allows us to solve for a 6 here. With these 2 6s, we can solve for a 6 in block 6, and the only place left for 6 is right there. And see, the other part is when you have 3 marks like those 9s, normally when you displace the Snyder, you can solve right away. We can't because we have 3. So you got to pay attention to that as well. But we got all the 6s knocked out in this puzzle. Okay, then after this, what I want you to know is you actually come right here and you go, what can this cell be? Well, it can't be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or an 8. This cell actually has to be a 9. So we can solve that for a 9 right away. And that's pretty awesome. Okay, and now we're coming to the point where you need that little bit extra help, that extra strategy. And what that strategy is you want to actually come over here. We have these 2s here, but now because of this 6, you look at where can an 8 be? An 8 can only be right there in the same spot as a 2. So that is a hidden pair of 2 and 8. And this is going to help us solve the rest of this puzzle, because with this hidden pair, that means a 8 can't be and a 2 can't be anywhere else along column 1. So if you look across the top here, we need a 5, 8, and 9. Well, the 8's got to be in one of these spots, the 9's there. We can actually solve this cell now for a 5, and that displaces that Snyder 5. So we can solve this cell for a 5, displacing the 2, solve that cell for a 2. And then across the top, 8 or a 9. We know that the 8 can only be in this spot, and so that has to be your 9, and then this, and the 8 can only be in that spot in row 1, right? And so then we can solve this for our 1 and come on down here and solve this for 9. All right. Now we're working really hard here, getting some of these solves knocked out. Okay, what else can we see here? With this 5 and this 5 and this 5, we can solve this cell. Now for 5, and now with this 1, we can solve this for a 1, and that's going to be a 9 right there. With these two 9s and this 9, we can solve for a 9 here, and we only have one place left for 9 in block 7, so we can do that for a 9, which means this has to be 9, just placing that Snyder 7. Okay, and with these two 7s and this 7, we have a 7 right here, and with this 7 and this 7, we can have a 7 right there. So I think we knocked out all of our 7s. I have a full house here. Always want to look for and solve those full houses. So we can do that with the 3 right there, which means now we're left with just a 4 and an 8. Well, I got my 8 here. So here's your 8. It's placing that Snyder 4. Nice. And so we're looking now. I need a 3 and a 5. I got my 5 here. So here's 5. There's your 3. I know this has to be 2 or 8, so you know that's going to be a 4. All right, another full house here, and we'll mark that for a 2, which means this has to be your 2, and that's going to be your 8. Great. And we know there's only one place left in block 6, so that's going to be a 1, displacing this Snyder 1. We can solve this for a 1 and solve this for a 4. Another full house. And I always want to solve this because you know it's a guaranteed solve if you see a full house. Just like right here in block 4. I can solve that for a 3. And now with this 3, we know there's got to be a 3 here along with a 1. Well, this 1 displaces that Snyder 1. So solve that for 1, solve that for 1, and solve that for your 3. And now we're looking for this 2 is going to be here, and we have another 4 right there in block 5. Okay, getting close to the end here. We'll start with this another full house, and we only have one candidate missing, which has to be your 4. And with this 4 means this is going to be a 4. Awesome. And now we got 2 there, which is going to mean we can disambiguate that 8 and that 2, and it means we can solve for an 8 here, which leaves a 3 here, and our last candidate is a 3. You need to check out this other video if you want to solve another cool Sudoku by Shye. Thank you so much, Shye, for being my Friday featured setter. This has been amazing, and thank you so much for watching.